Have you ever found yourself at the mercy of an encounter that turned your world upside down? One that made every cell in your body vibrate with recognition, yet somehow felt forbidden? It's like stumbling upon the sharpest reflection of your soul in another person, only for life to shout, "No!" The pain is so precise, so exquisitely crafted, that it almost feels like a design. A whisper from the universe, orchestrating this person's appearance, not to give them to you, but to reveal something far deeper about who you are destined to become. Carl Jung, the tireless explorer of the human psyche, taught us that nothing in our emotional universe is accidental. He would say that when we meet someone who ignites a fire in our soul, yet remains out of reach, we are not facing a cosmic joke. Instead, we are being handed an invitation to one of life's most potent transformational experiences. This goes far beyond traditional romance. It's the universe using another person as a key to unlock the deepest chambers of your becoming. Think of that figure who lingers in your thoughts, the one who crashed into your life like lightning, illuminating inner landscapes you didn't even know existed. Maybe they were already committed. Maybe the timing was catastrophically wrong. Maybe you lived in worlds separated by insurmountable circumstances. Or perhaps, just perhaps, this person was meant to be a teacher, not a lover. The rational mind scrambles to make sense of it, searching for logical explanations as to why something that felt so right could be so impossible. But Jung would remind us, logic is not the language of the soul. The unconscious speaks through symbols, through meaningful coincidences, through encounters that shatter our carefully constructed sense of who we think we are. When you meet someone you can't be with, you are not just meeting another person, you are meeting a mirror reflecting back the parts of yourself that have been waiting in the shadows, undeveloped and unexpressed. This person embodies qualities, dreams, and potentials that lie dormant within you. They are not showing you what you lack. They are showing you what you are capable of becoming. The magnetic pull you feel toward them is, in truth, the call of your own unrealized self, summoning you toward growth, integration, and the wholeness you are meant to embody. This is what we call projection. Not the projection of our shadows or fears, but the projection of our highest potential, our unlived life, our deepest longings, manifested in another human being. The person you can't be with carries a piece of your own wholeness, and your task is not to possess them, but to reclaim that piece of yourself. The intensity of your feelings for them, the way they bypass your rational defenses and speak directly to something ancient and primal within you, is a sign that something profound is trying to emerge from the depths of your psyche. Your soul is using this connection to wake you from the trance of ordinary existence, to remind you that you are capable of feeling more deeply, loving more authentically than you ever imagined. This person did not come to complete you. They came to reveal that you are already whole, even if you have not yet fully expressed it. The question is not, why did the universe give me someone I can't have, but rather, what is this person's presence in my life trying to teach me about myself? What part of your own nature are they reflecting back to you? What aspect of your potential are they invoking? The answer to these questions is the key to understanding not just this relationship, but your entire journey toward becoming who you are meant to be. The love that breaks you is not the love that destroys you. It's the love that shatters your illusions about yourself. When you meet someone who touches the deepest parts of your being, yet remains beyond your grasp, you are being introduced to a sacred kind of disillusionment. Not the petty frustration of not getting what you want, but the profound cracking open that occurs when your soul recognizes itself in another, only to discover that the recognition itself was the gift, not the relationship. Jung understood that the most powerful experiences in our lives often come disguised as losses. The person you can't be with has cracked something in you that was sealed, perhaps for years, perhaps for lifetimes. They have reawakened a capacity to feel that you may have forgotten you possessed. They have reminded you that you are capable of a love that transcends the ordinary boundaries of possession and control. This awakening is not meant to torture you. It is meant to liberate you from the small, safe version of yourself you had settled for. Before this person entered your life, you may have lived on the surface of your own experience, going through the motions of love and connection without fully understanding what you were capable of. You may have accepted relationships that were comfortable but not transformative, pleasant but not profound. Then this person appeared, and suddenly you understood the difference between liking someone and being in love with the mystery of existence itself. They showed you that love is not just an emotion, but a state of being, not just a feeling, but a way of perceiving reality. The breaking is necessary because the person you were before meeting them was not large enough to contain the love you are capable of experiencing. Your heart needed to be cracked open to make room for a more expansive way of being in the world. This process is inherently painful because all growth involves the destruction of what came before. The caterpillar must dissolve completely before it can become the butterfly. Your old ways of loving, of being, of understanding yourself had to be broken to make space for something more authentic, more alive. Jung believed that our greatest wounds often become our greatest sources of wisdom and strength. The person who breaks you is not hurting you. They are revealing wounds that were already there, wounds that needed to be acknowledged and healed. Perhaps you had closed your heart after past disappointments. Perhaps you had convinced yourself that deep love was not possible or not worth the risk. This person's presence in your life is forcing you to confront those old wounds, those limiting beliefs about what you deserve and what is possible for you. They are not causing your pain. They are bringing your pain to the surface so it can finally be healed. The intensity of your feelings for them is proportional to the depth of the healing that is trying to take place. You are not being punished by the universe. You are being offered a chance to return to wholeness. The love that opens you also opens your understanding of love itself. You begin to see that love is not about possession or control, not about having your needs met or your desires fulfilled. Love is about recognition, about seeing and being seen, about touching and being touched by the mystery of another human being. The person you can't be with has given you a glimpse of what it means to love without agenda, to connect without conditions, to be present to the essence of another without needing to possess or change them. This realization is both liberating and terrifying. It frees you from the transactional, limited understanding of love that keeps most people trapped in relationships that are more about security than growth. But it also terrifies you because it calls you to love in a way that offers no guarantees, no promises of permanence. You are being invited to love as the mystics love, with total surrender to the present moment, with total acceptance of what is, and with no attachment to outcome. The person who breaks you is teaching you that the deepest love is not about having someone, but about being transformed by the encounter with them. They are showing you that you can love someone completely and still let them go, that you can be grateful for a connection even when it cannot continue, that you can be broken by love and emerge more whole than you were before. They were never meant to be your forever. They were meant to be your mirror, reflecting back the parts of yourself you had forgotten or never fully developed. Jung's concept of the anima and animus, the feminine aspect within men and the masculine aspect within women, helps us understand why certain people trigger such intense recognition within us. When you meet someone you can't be with, you're often meeting an external representation of your own inner wholeness, the parts of yourself that have been underdeveloped or suppressed. This person embodies qualities you admire not because they are foreign to you, but because they are familiar to your soul. They represent potentials within you that are trying to emerge into consciousness. The creative passion they express so freely reflects your own unexpressed creativity. The confidence they radiate mirrors your own inner strength, which you have been afraid to claim. The way they move through the world with authenticity and purpose shows you what it looks like when someone fully inhabits their own life. The mistake most people make is thinking they need this person to access those qualities within themselves. They believe that being with this person will somehow complete them, granting them access to the parts of themselves they see reflected in the other. But Jung would say the opposite is true. You recognize these qualities in them because they already exist within you. Your task is not to possess this person, but to develop these qualities within yourself. The intensity of your attraction to them is actually your soul's way of showing you what you are capable of becoming. They are not the missing piece. They are the mirror, showing you the pieces of yourself you have yet to claim. The reason you can't be with them is often because you are not yet ready to be with yourself in a more complete, integrated way. The universe is not keeping you apart to torture you. It is giving you the time and space to become the person capable of the kind of love you glimpsed in their presence. Think of the qualities that drew you to this person. Make a list of what you found most compelling about them. Now consider how each of those qualities might be developed within you. The passion you saw in them. Where in your life are you being called to be more passionate? The courage they displayed. What in your life demands more courage? The way they seemed so at home in their own skin. What would it take for you to inhabit your own life more fully? This person appeared in your life as a teacher, not a lover. They came to show you what you are capable of, not to give you what you think you need. The longing you feel for them is actually a longing for the fuller expression of yourself. The love you feel for them is actually love for your own potential, for your own journey toward wholeness. Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, often requires encounters with people who activate dormant aspects of our personality. These encounters are not random. They are precisely orchestrated by the unconscious mind to catalyze growth and integration. The person you can't be with is playing a crucial role in your individuation process. They are helping you see and reclaim the parts of yourself that have been lost, forgotten, or never fully developed. The pain of not being able to be with them is the pain of recognizing how much you have been holding back, how much of your potential you have been afraid to own. It is the pain of waking up to the reality that you have been living a life smaller than the one you are capable of living. This pain is sacred because it is the pain of birth, the emergence of a more authentic, integrated version of yourself. Instead of focusing on what you can't have with this person, focus on what you can become for having known them. Instead of mourning the relationship that couldn't be, celebrate the awakening that has happened. They have given you a gift far more precious than any relationship. They have shown you who you are capable of being. Now it is your responsibility to honor that gift by doing the work of becoming that person. The relationship you thought you wanted with them was actually the relationship you need to have with yourself. The love you felt for them was actually love for your own unrealized potential. The connection you experienced with them was actually a connection to the parts of you that were waiting to be acknowledged and integrated. They were never meant to be your destiny. They were meant to be your guide, pointing you toward the person you are destined to become. They came to wake you from the sleep of ordinary life, to shake you free from the comfortable numbness that keeps most people trapped in lives too small for their souls. Jung understood that the psyche has its own intelligence, its own agenda for growth and healing. Sometimes it sends us people who cannot stay, not to punish us, but to catalyze transformations that could not happen any other way. The person you can't be with is an agent of your own awakening, a catalyst sent by your unconscious mind to activate potentials that had been dormant within you. Before them, you may have been sleepwalking through your life, accepting limitations that were not truly limitations, believing stories about yourself that were not truly true. You may have convinced yourself that you were not the kind of person who experiences great love, deep connection, or transformative passion. You may have settled for a version of yourself that was safe but not alive, acceptable but not authentic, functional but not fully expressed. And then this person entered your life, and everything changed. Suddenly, you remembered what it felt like to be fully alive, fully present, fully engaged with the mystery of existence. You remembered that you are capable of feelings that transcend ordinary connections, that defy explanation, that transform everything they touch. They reminded you that you are not just a collection of roles and responsibilities, fears and limitations, but a soul having a human experience, and that the soul is far more magnificent than you had allowed yourself to believe. The awakening they triggered in you is not just about love or relationships. It is about remembering who you truly are beneath all the layers of conditioning, expectation, and self-doubt that have accumulated over the years. They showed you that you are capable of being passionate, creative, courageous, authentic, and alive in ways you had forgotten or never fully known. This awakening is not meant to depend on their presence in your life. It is meant to be integrated into your being, so you can carry it forward into everything you do. Jung believed that certain encounters are meant to be, not in the sense of fate or predetermined outcomes, but in the sense that they are necessary for the evolution of consciousness. Your soul called this person into your life because you were ready for the next stage of your development, and you had reached the limits of who you could become within the confines of your old way of being. This person appeared to shatter those confines, to show you that you are capable of far more than you had imagined. The reason you can't be with them is often because the work they came to do is complete. They awakened you to your own potential, showed you what you are capable of feeling and being. Now, it is your turn to take responsibility for that awakening, to integrate it into your daily life, to become the person they helped you remember you could be, whether or not they are there to witness it. You may feel tempted to remain dependent on them for that sense of aliveness, rather than claiming it for yourself. But the universe operates with a perfect intelligence that our rational minds do not always grasp. Sometimes, what looks like a loss or a disappointment is actually a graduation, a promotion to the next level of your spiritual development. The person you can't be with has done their work. They have awakened you to your own magnificence. Now it is time for you to honor that awakening by living it, by embodying it, by expressing it in every area of your life. This does not mean forgetting them or pretending they don't matter. It means understanding that they matter in a way that transcends the personal, that their impact on your life is greater than any relationship could contain. They have become part of your inner landscape, a permanent reminder of what you are capable of when you are fully alive and authentic. They have awakened you to a way of being that you can now bring to every encounter, every relationship, every moment of your life. The love you feel for them has taught you how to love yourself, how to recognize and honor the magnificent being that you are. The passion they ignited in you has shown you what it means to be fully engaged with life. The connection you experienced with them has reminded you that you are capable of profound intimacy with existence itself. These gifts are yours to keep, whether or not they remain in your life. They came to wake you up, and they succeeded. Now the question is, what will you do with this awakening? How will you honor the transformation they catalyzed in you? How will you live in a way that reflects the magnitude of what you have discovered about yourself through them? The answer to these questions will determine whether their presence in your life was merely a beautiful memory or a genuine life-altering transformation that changes everything about how you move through the world. The person you can't be with is giving you the greatest gift possible. They have reminded you who you truly are. Now, it's time to become that person, fully, completely, whether they are there to witness it or not.